in a peaceful village tucked away between green, misty mountains, where the trees whispered stories of the old world and the rivers sang lullabies to the wind, lived a small turtle named Lino. He was not unlike other turtles in appearance. His shell was modestly patterned, his steps slow, and his eyes big and soft like marbles washed by rain. But inside Lino, there was something different, a fire, a quiet yet persistent longing that made his heart beat faster than his feet could carry him. From the moment he could understand language, he was told what he could and couldn't do. You're a turtle. You're supposed to be slow. Patience is your only virtue. The fast life is for others, foxes, birds, gazelles. You belong to the ground. But Lino didn't want to belong to the ground. Every night, he'd lie on a leaf under the stars and dream of running, not crawling, not walking, but running fast, the kind of running that made trees blur and the sky spin. He imagined feeling the wind lash against his face, his legs like lightning, his soul lighter than his shell. He didn't want to be average. He didn't want to accept the limits others had set for him. He wanted more. He wanted the impossible. The other animals laughed when he spoke of his dream. A turtle that runs, mocked the hare. Maybe next, the fish will fly. Even his family gently discouraged him. It's not about dreams, Lino, said his grandfather one day. It's about knowing your place. But the more they told him to stay still, the more his heart moved. One evening, an old owl, ancient and rarely seen, approached him quietly beneath a moonlit tree. She spoke of a forgotten trail in the deepest part of the forest, called the Path of the Wind. It was said that those who walked this path and passed its trials would find the flame of the wind, a mystical energy that awakened hidden strengths in the worthy. It is not speed you must seek, the owl said in her raspy voice. It is your truth. But be warned, no one has ever returned the same. Lino didn't hesitate. That very night, he packed a small satchel with berries and leaves, carved a symbol of courage onto his shell, and left the village. No goodbyes, no fear, just the relentless calling of his dream. The forest changed as he moved deeper. The air grew heavier, shadows thickened, the path twisted like a snake with no eyes. Days passed, maybe weeks. The journey became a mirror, showing Lino not just the world, but himself. He stumbled into traps laid by deceptive plants, was tricked by a silver fox who tried to steal his dream in exchange for an easier life, and nearly drowned crossing a flooded stream that mocked his slow pace. Each step tested not just his body, but his mind. There were moments of doubt so strong he nearly turned back. Voices echoed in his head. You're too slow. This is foolish. Go home. But he kept going, crawling, climbing, hoping, until finally, after crossing a bridge made of brittle roots and fireflies, he reached the summit of the trail. There, in the center of a stone circle, flickered a small blue flame of the wind. It didn't roar or blaze, it whispered. And as Lino approached, it did not offer speed or wings or the strength of a lion. Instead, it spoke into his heart, and what it gave him was vision. In that moment, everything became clear. He saw that his journey had already made him faster not in body, but in spirit. He had learned resilience, determination, focus, and courage. He understood now that true speed was not measured in how fast you moved, but how deeply you committed to the path. The fastest ones often stopped when the road got hard. But he hadn't. He had endured, and that was more powerful than speed. Lino bowed to the flame, and without another word, turned and made his way back home. When he returned to the village, no one recognized him at first. Not because his shell had changed or his body was stronger, but because his eyes were on fire. He spoke differently, walked differently. He carried the weight of the wind. From that day forward, young animals gathered to hear the story of the turtle who refused to be slow. They no longer saw him as slow or weak or silly. They saw him as a legend, a reminder that the world may expect you to crawl, but your spirit, if you dare to follow it, can fly. If this story has stirred something deep within your heart, don't let it stop here. Share it with someone who needs a spark of hope today. Subscribe to our channel so you never miss another journey that inspires and uplifts. And in the comments, tell us, what dream have you been carrying silently? What challenge have you faced that changed your way of seeing the world? Your story matters, and we would be honored to hear it. May God's light guide your path always, and we'll be waiting for you in the next video, ready to share more stories that speak to the soul.